Hi, guys. Just a quick story about why there are times when we should not tell people to be back in contact with toxic people. The example I'm using today is me not talking to my own parents. And when I've actually explained my story or said that I don't talk to my parents, I've had a lot of people say, oh, well, maybe you can forgive them, or oh, you should talk to them. They're your parents. You should forgive them. No, wrong is wrong, toxic is toxic. And quick trigger warning, there is mention of suicide. So I want to explain why on my part. So I had an 11-year relationship end unexpectedly. I had to move back home. I have been formally diagnosed with mental health issues. I was depressed, I was suicidal, and I didn't want to be here. I spoke up and told my parents I didn't want to be here. They didn't really acknowledge my mental health previously, and they didn't really acknowledge it then. So, as a result, long story short, they actually made me homeless on purpose. I was late to an appointment to get cash aid. They were doing construction, so I was late. It took me 3 lights to get through an intersection. So I rescheduled my appointment for the following Monday. It was a Friday. I get home. My dad gets mad at me for missing this appointment. At that point, I was only allowed to use their car for job interviews or appointments because I had no job, no car, no money, and I was kind of stuck on top of being depressed and suicidal. So my dad gets mad at me for missing this appointment, even though I rescheduled it. And I simply said, well, if anything, at least I'll be able to get out of the house again. Too sore of a remark, he said, pick a shelter, get out. I didn't have time to phone a friend. I didn't have time to figure out what shelter because I was literally trying to figure out what to pack and what not to. Now I know what it's like when someone's house is on fire and you literally have only so many minutes to decide what to take and what not. I told my dad to take me to a hospital because I couldn't just go without psych meds at the time. So he drops me off at an outpatient facility or something and leaves. I walk in and the ladies, bless their heart, were like, you can't just come here. You have to have a referral. I'm like, well, I have no way to get to the hospital. Luckily, these ladies had money and they paid for me to take Lyft to the hospital. I ended up in a halfway house. I didn't qualify for any shelters because I'm not an addict, I'm not a mom, and I'm not over 65. Luckily, I had someone that I cleaned house for that let me move in with them. But I've had people say, oh, you need to forgive your parents. You need to forgive them. They're your parents. What if something were to happen to them? I literally did not plan on being here and they were okay with it. When people say, oh, your dad was giving you tough love, would you be saying tough love at my funeral? That's not love. So don't sit there and say that. I have very good reason to not talk to these people. I didn't plan on being here. The two people that brought me into the world were okay with me out of it. Because if you have a daughter who had an 11-year relationship end, is depressed, suicidal, mental health issues, on psych meds, and spoke up and said that she doesn't want to be here, and you make her homeless on purpose, what do you think's going to happen? So the next time someone says that they don't talk to their parents or certain family members, don't criticize them because they have good reason to. That's my story. And if you have any comments, definitely leave them. And if you have similar experiences or can relate, I'd love to hear. Have a good day.